The world is unfair, and you can cease being its victim the sooner you come to terms with this harsh reality. Someone less smarter than you is gaining more respect right now while you're viewing this. More power is being held by someone who is weaker than you, just because they are aware of the dark psychology of human nature. Someone who is less skilled than you is leading the life you desire. You've been programmed to follow rules that were previously broken by others. While others are being strategic, you have been trained to be pleasant. While others take respect, you've been taught to wait for it. Contrary to popular belief, the game is fixed. It is biased against people who don't want to understand its true rules. It is biased against people who think that justice exists. It is biased against people who believe that psychological dominance is less important than good intentions. Niccolò Machiavelli cracked the code of power and influence 500 years ago. He learned why the world is ruled by cunning strategists, and why nice guys end up last. 8 dark psychological principles that I'm about to share with you today will change you from someone who is ignored to someone who is frighteningly self-assured, impenetrable, and unavoidable. However, I must warn you that once you view the human psychology matrix, you will never be able to see it again. You won't be able to play the victim ever again once you grasp these ideas. Allow me to share with you the time that my life took a drastic turn. I used to be the person who knew all the answers, but no one paid attention. I was bright, diligent, sincere, and totally undetectable. I saw self-assured fools advance ahead of me. While honest people failed, I witnessed manipulators create empires. I saw good people eat by themselves while charismatic sociopaths attracted followers. Then I came to the realization that nobody wanted to acknowledge. Intelligence is not rewarded in our world. Influence is rewarded. Good hearts are not respected by it. It honors a powerful presence. It doesn't give a damn about your personality. Your psychological supremacy is important to it. This insight shattered my naive perspective on the world. However, it also freed me from a life of invisibility and frustration. Machiavelli lived at a time of political intrigue, treachery, and psychological warfare in Renaissance Italy. He saw kingdoms come and go on the basis of a single, straightforward idea. Human psychology experts dominate over those who don't, not. All of his observations are historical oddities. They serve as operating manuals for everyone who wishes to become magnetic and cease being controlled. Being harsh is not the same as being merciless. It indicates a high level of psychological sophistication. It means realizing that other people are playing chess with strategic movements while you are playing checkers with good intentions. Before we get started, I need you to do this. Put this statement in the comments section. I refuse to let other people control my mind. This goes beyond a simple remark. Since everything I'm going to teach you necessitates a single, basic change from a victim attitude to a predator mindset, it's the first step toward psychological sovereignty. Are you prepared to gain dangerous self-confidence? Let's get started. Fairness is a psychological trap to start. This is the first harsh reality. To keep you weak and obedient, fairness is a myth. Someone else always takes what you want when you wait for fair treatment. Others are constantly changing the rules to suit their interests whenever. You play by fictitious ones. When you anticipate reciprocity, Manipulators take advantage of your expected actions. You have been conditioned to think that you are noble because you are fair. Actually, it causes you to pray. Consider your own life. How many times have you respected someone who didn't respect you? How many times did you lend a helping hand to someone who never returned the favor? When others cut the line, how many times have you waited for your turn? This has nothing to do with your bad luck. This is a result of your innate tendency to lose. Men should either be treated generously or destroyed because they take revenge for minor injuries, Niccolò Machiavelli noted. They can't for heavy ones. Physical violence is not at issue here. It has to do with psychological combat. A little ego damage causes someone to recoil and plan retaliation. They accept their situation and go on until you have total psychological control over them. Half measures are a mistake that most individuals make. They respond to strong personalities with weak pushback. With aggressive people, they establish gentle boundaries. They make an effort to reason with self-interested people. The worst result is produced by this. You give the impression that you are weak, but you also make foes regard you as a target that they can eventually take down. This is the real definition of psychological dominance. You don't dispute or correct someone who treats you disrespectfully. You merely show by your behavior that offending you has dire social repercussions right away. When someone doesn't value you, you don't negotiate with them. You don't make an effort to get better treatment from others. You put them in a position where taking care of you well serves their own interests, while taking care of you badly costs them something they value. If someone isn't fair to you, stop being fair to them. When interacting with people who are just aware of power relations, start being strategic. Second, ruthlessness is a form of emotional control. Most people believe that being ruthless entails losing control and snapping. They are entirely incorrect. The opposite is true ruthlessness. It's ruthless emotional control. People who are cruel don't feel upset. They become calculated. They don't have an emotional response. They react logically. They don't let damaged feelings influence their choices. They base their selections on a rational evaluation of what best suits their needs. For this reason, emotionally unstable people never become truly influential. They are predictable. Anyone who knows what buttons to press can manipulate them. Every time someone causes them to lose their cool, they cede their authority. People who are psychologically powerful are aware that feelings are information rather than commands. They experience disappointment, rage, or frustration. However, they do not allow these emotions to dictate how they behave. Allow me to illustrate. Someone tries to damage your reputation or embarrasses you in public. When someone is emotionally reactive, they become defensive, quarrel, and try to defend their position. They appear weak as a result, and the attacker's strength is confirmed. The brutally disciplined individual takes a distinct action. What response would be most damaging to this person's social standing, while elevating mine? They question after observing the attack and experiencing the emotion. Perhaps they show that the attacker isn't worth their effort by ignoring the attempt entirely. Perhaps they correct the assailant in a factual, icy manner, making them appear dumb. Perhaps they take advantage of the onslaught to demonstrate their greater poise. The important thing is that their reaction is not triggered, but rather selected. Niccolò Machiavelli recognized that in order to make their suffering less severe and potentially less offensive, injuries should be administered all at once. Make sure your answer to psychological attacks is final and decisive. Avoid continuing the drama. Avoid getting caught up in emotional back and forth. Make one well-thought-out action that puts an end to the dispute in your favor. Consider the most powerful individuals you are aware of in terms of psychology. Do they frequently lose their temper? Do they start yelling at each other? Do they allow other people to dictate how they feel? No. They continue to have emotional sovereignty. They pick their battles. They react based on strategy rather than emotion. This emotional control turns into a powerful psychological tool. People begin to treat you with caution and respect once they realize they can't control your emotions. Learn to control your emotions. While you reply strategically, let others react. Third, psychological dominance takes precedence over likability. Your programming that aims to please everyone will be destroyed by this reality. Being liked is far less valuable than being respected. People who just like you risk hurting your feelings because they think you'll overlook it. People are more reluctant to betray you when they admire your psychological fortitude because they are aware of the potential repercussions. People you like are safe. They are predictable because they are known to not significantly retaliate. They are easily exploited. Those with psychological dominance pose a threat. They are not predictable. Everyone understands they can and will protect their interests, so they are handled carefully. Consider your social networks. Who is most respected? The individual with the strongest presence or the nicest person? When people are making decisions, who do they consult? The person whose approval truly counts, or the one who is in agreement with everyone? Niccolò Machiavelli told it as it was. If one must be without one of the two, it is far better to be feared than loved. Being a tyrant is not what this means. It entails being someone that people know they can't treat disrespectfully without suffering serious repercussions. It entails being known for being tough but fair. This is how it actually operates. Because they are afraid of failing others, likable people agree to requests they don't want to fulfill. Because they put their own interests first, dominant people say no without feeling guilty. Likable people put up with rudeness and hope it goes away. Disrespect is dealt with swiftly and forcefully by dominant people. People that are likable make an effort to fit in. Those in positions of dominance choose who gets to be there. People that are likable give reasons and explanations for their choices. Those in positions of power make choices and demand that others follow suit. There is a significant psychological shift from likability to domination. You start by wondering whether this action will boost or lessen my social power rather than whether they would like me if I do it. When it benefits you, you learn to accept other people's discomfort rather than attempting to make them feel at ease. You become someone whose approval others seek rather than someone who seeks approval. There's a need to change from someone who gives respect to people without expecting it to someone who demands it. Consistently showing your standards and limits will help you gain psychological dominance. People should compete for your praise instead of yours. Fourth, making a decision leads to psychological advantage. Here is where most people lose their power. Instead of making strong moves rarely, they keep making weak ones. In their minds, weak people always say bad things will happen, but they never do. They give so many warnings that people learn to ignore them. By nagging, begging, and playing on your emotions, they try to control you. This makes a bad name for them. Anybody can see that you're just barking. When you complain, people learn to ignore you because your warnings don't really mean anything. Different things happen with psychologically powerful people. They tell people less, but when they do something, it's clear and easy to remember. He said, "If an injury has to be done to a man, it should be so severe that his vengeance need not be feared." This means that when you need to show your power, be so clear and final about it that people know not to test you again. Let me show you what I mean. Someone in your social group always talks over you, doesn't listen to what you have to say, and makes jokes about you. It's not healthy for your mental health to keep telling them to stop getting angry and telling other people about their behavior. They feel more powerful because they know they can change how you feel without actually getting in trouble. The most common psychological reaction is not the same. After writing down the pattern, you take one firm action. Maybe you tell them in public that their behavior makes you look bad, which makes them feel bad. It's possible that you keep them from something they value. You might show off your social power by making other people change the way they act. It's important that your response is strong enough for the general pattern of disrespect, not too strong for a single incident. It has an effect on the mind. Others know that being rude to you has real consequences. Additionally, they understand that you are not someone who makes empty threats. Your actions are strong. In every area of influence, this concept works. Instead of always trying to persuade people of your worth, you sometimes show them so clearly that the lesson sticks. You aren't always helpful and available, but sometimes you're not there, which makes people understand they need you more than you need them. Instead of fighting your point of view over and over, you do things that make it clear that you are right. Make fewer promises, but when you do something, do it all the way through. Develop a character for taking action instead of just issuing empty threats. 5. Managing perceptions is the same thing as managing truth. Understanding that how other people see you is more important than the truth about who you are is the most advanced form of psychological control. Most people only think about being good and think that other people will see their worth on their own. This is unrealistic. It's not how people think and feel. No one has time to look into your character in depth. They quickly judge based on what they see and what other people say. Someone else will manage how people see you if you don't, and they won't do it in your favor. Niccolò Machiavelli knew this very well. Your appearance is seen by everyone. Not many people know what you're really like. For the vast majority of people you meet, this means that your picture is their reality. What gives you power is your image. The way they see your worth is the same as what they actually think it is. People with advanced psychological skills know this and work to improve their picture. They write their own story about who they are before other people write it for them. This isn't about pretending. It's about planning how you show off your real traits. Think about the web. The job is done by two people. One person carefully writes it down, showing that they are skilled and successful. They don't say anything because they think their work speaks for itself. Who gets more respect, chances, and attention? The person who controlled how others saw them in person relations. This means knowing that your voice tone, clothes, body language, and social confidence all show how valuable you are before you even say a word. When you walk into a room, stand tall, look people in the eye, and talk with authority, people automatically think of you as important. People subconsciously think you're not important if you slouch, avoid eye contact, and speak slowly. The idea behind psychology is easy to understand. People will treat you the way you teach them to. This is how image management really works. People will only hear good things about you if you share your wins and play down your failures. To raise your social standing by proximity, you hang out with important people and do important things. You keep some things about yourself a secret so that people can make positive assumptions about you instead of knowing all your flaws. You show confidence even when you're not sure of yourself because confidence spreads and uncertainty turns people off. Your reputation is the most important thing you have. Protect it, grow it, and use it in a smart way. Sixth, controlling stories is like fighting with people's minds. This move has the most power, not only being in charge of what happens, but also how it is understood and remembered. There are many ways to look at every issue. The same action can be seen as strong or weak, confident or selfish, strong or violent. The meaning is controlled by the person who is telling the story. Most people only think about what they did and not what is being said about it. There is a huge mistake here. When it comes to psychology, the story is often more important than the facts. Just think of a fight you've seen. No matter who was right in the court of public opinion, the person who gets to say their side of the story first and most convincingly usually wins. In general, men judge more by appearances than by reality, Niccolò Machiavelli said. People do not have time to fully look into every case. They believe the sped-up story they get from reliable sources. People believe whatever person is in charge of that story. This means you need to get good at putting your activities in a way that helps you. When you do well, you decide how to tell the story of your success. You write the story of what you learned when you fail. You tell the other side of the story when people attack you. This is how story warfare really works. You think about principles and the long term instead of your own instant self-interest when you have to make a tough choice that might not go over well with everyone. People who try to make you look bad don't just protect themselves. You change how they attack so that it shows how weak or jealous they are. When you accomplish something important, you tell the story in a way that shows off your character and strategic thinking, not just your luck or natural ability. Let me show you what I mean. It's time to cut ties with a friend who has been dragging you down. People could say you're greedy because you left them when they needed you the most. People might think you are cruel if you don't control this story. To put it another way, I had to set limits with someone who was making my mental health worse and wouldn't reciprocate simple friendships. People think you have a good sense of your own worth. Different ways of seeing the same event. Advanced narrative. Control means being able to guess how people will understand your actions and stop negative readings before they take hold. Always think about not only what you're doing, but also how people will talk about and understand it. Write the story yourself before someone else does. Number 7, effects that happen over time create psychological power. The smartest way to persuade someone isn't through threats, emotions, or manipulation. It depends on making processes that are predictable, meaning that when people do certain things, they automatically get certain results. This is psychological power because it takes your personality out of the picture. People can't argue with processes like they can with their own choices. They can't change the way automatic outcomes work like they can change how people feel. If your authority comes from getting angry or making threats, other people can use your power against you. They know how to make you feel bad, control your feelings, and negotiate with your reactions. You have full psychological control, though when you set up processes where respect leads to access and disrespect leads to exclusion. This was clear to Niccolò Machiavelli. A smart leader should depend on the things he can control, not on the things other people can control. In real life, this is how systematic power works. You don't have to argue with people who don't respect your time. You just don't answer when they need you. You don't get mad at people who take advantage of your kindness. Instead, you quietly give your help to those who show gratitude. You don't try to get people to treat you better. Instead, you make it so that treating you well helps them and treating you badly hurts them. Allow me to give you an example. Some of your friends always expect you to plan events for them, but they often cancel at the last minute or show up late. The emotionally reacting way is to get angry at them, complain about how they're acting, or make them feel bad about not being dependable. The method that is systematically authoritative is different. I plan events for people who promise they will be there and show up on time. If someone is always canceling or being late, I stop involving them in plans. You don't say this as a threat or a punishment. It's just put into place like a normal system. You get more work done if people value it. People who don't use your time well will get less of it. This gives you psychological power because people start changing how they act to keep getting what you offer. There's no way for them to fight with the system because it is based on facts and not feelings. The best thing about this method is that it takes care of itself. People don't need to be reminded of limits or rules all the time. Because of this, the natural results do the work for you. Set up ways for people's actions toward you to automatically decide how much value they can get from you. People will learn how to treat you by seeing what happens. 8th, the most powerful thing you can do is be quiet. This is the last and most important lesson. Real psychic power works when no one is around. Most of the time, people who say they are tough, smart, or cruel all the time aren't. Instead of showing what they actually control, they're selling what they wish they had. Power doesn't have to be loud to be real. Behind the scenes, real power works. In reality, psychological control is felt, not said out loud. The most dangerous people in a room are often the ones who don't say much. They are watching while other people act. While others are responding, they are calculating. Some are posing while they're placing. You should think about the most mentally strong people you've met. Do they keep telling you how powerful they are? Do they talk about how powerful they are? Do they make threats against people who cross them? Nope. Their influence is shown by actions, not by words. People think they have power, but they don't say so. Their power is felt by being there, not by what they say. Niccolò Machiavelli got this just right. The fox can't fight off dogs, and the lion can't defend itself against traps. Because of this, you need to be a fox to spot traps and a lion to scare wolves. This means that you need to be smart about strategy when you need to be sneaky and strong mentally when you need to be strong. But the important thing is to switch between these modes without giving away your plan. In real life, this means that your opponents won't see your moves until it's too late to stop them. Your friends won't understand how you're positioning them until it works out well for them. People who are against you won't know you're hurting them until it's too late. The way silent control looks is like this. You work to gain power without letting people know what your goals are. You put yourself in a strategic place without making it clear what your plan is. You find out things about other people while not saying much about yourself. You make deals with other businesses that help you without letting your competitors know about them. It's possible for people who work against you to feel less powerful without realizing it. It's not about being sneaky or lying. To understand this, you need to know that tactical openness is weaker than strategic discretion. People start to feel your power without knowing how you got it when you speak quietly and rule over them. This makes it look like your impact is natural and unavoidable, not planned and hostile. Build a quiet kingdom in your mind. Let other people make noise while you plan your next move. Show your power by getting things done, not by making promises. Here's the last truth that will decide whether you stay mentally controlled or become too sure of yourself. Someone who knows how to control people's dark mindset will run your life if you don't. We're not arguing about ideas here. This is everyday psychological warfare going on all around you. Someone is using these ideas against people who don't understand them right now while you're learning them. People who are dishonest are taking advantage of people who believe in truth. People with psychological dominance put themselves ahead of people who believe that good goals are more important than strategic thinking. The choice is harsh and easy. If you want to stop being affected and used by others, you need to learn how to understand and use psychological influence. People have taught you that learning these rules is bad for you. That's what people who are mentally strong want you to think. While they use their deep knowledge of human behavior to control you, they want you to stay naive, predictable, and easy to trick. If you don't use these skills right away, someone more cunning will gain the power and respect you want. For every day that you choose to be nice instead of becoming more powerful, you give people who think that being nice is a sign of weakness more psychological ammo. Not any more naive nice guys who come in last. There should be more people in the world who understand psychological facts and use that knowledge to live lives of real impact and unwavering confidence. If these scary facts have stirred something in you, if you're sick of letting other people control your mind, then show them. Display your readiness to stop being naive by liking this movie. Tell someone who needs to know that being nice without being strong is just weakness with good intentions. You should subscribe, because these lessons are just the start of how you can go from being ignored to someone who can't be ignored. Do not forget what you said in the comments. I won't let other people control my mind. Stop refusing and take charge now. You can decide, but swiftly, because dangerous people are already deciding what to do with you while you think about whether to turn mentally unstable. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this timeless truth, that those who refuse to learn the laws of power inevitably become subjects to those who do.